Hey everybody, welcome to the Gootzcast. We're back. We're back. I'm gonna do it 5 days a week during the coronavirus, and today's our first episode. It's a Monday night. Andrew Lee, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. So have you been out during the pandemic?
No, I have not left my house since Wednesday night. Um, I've been at home since then. I only left once just to move my car from one side of the street to the next.
They're
But
still making
you,
you do that over there?
I don't. I mean, they're making everyone do that in New York and New Jersey. You too. Technically, you guys. Well, they say you can go to the park if you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like go out for a walk as long as you weren't, you should be wearing a mask and stuff. But out of my own safety, I guess I just not going out. I also enjoying staying at home.
Yeah, I like staying home too. I don't know these people like, oh, I don't want to stay home. I'm like, really? What the fuck
Yeah,
is?
I got food, I got internet, I don't need anything.
Yeah, why do you need to? Why do you need to? What do you need to do? Do you really need
Yeah.
to sit at a bar that bad? Well,
There's nothing
some people
open.
do.
There's nothing open. There's no bars open. Whatever.
No.
Yeah.
So for tonight's podcast, okay, there, that sound like a demon. What was that noise?
Move something, I guess.
Yeah, when you move it, you sound like a demon. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sounds all right. It's okay. We're trying something new. All right, we're trying to make content for people. Tell them, Andrew.
Yeah, we're trying to make content for you guys by watching a 3-hour Raw, WWE
Yeah.
Raw, on March 23rd, 2020. We were talking about before, but both Ray, you and me, we have not watched a Raw in real time in years, right?
No.
When was the last time you watched a Raw in real time?
I mean, I think Christmas 2017. Like
Wow.
I was saying to you earlier that people think I took my Caroline show when I had Monday Night Gootz at Caroline's. I took it because I was gonna, oh, you can make money off this show, you can do this, you can book people. No, I took it because there were no shows on Monday, and I was sitting home every Monday watching fucking Raw in 2015, and I was ready to fucking blow my brains out.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget. I was like, oh, I'm in to stand up full time. And then I'm sitting home and the Big Show's theme song hits. I'm like, I just want to blow my brains out. What the fuck is this shit? You know?
I would, like, for people who don't know, both you and me were, we're stand-up comics and we're usually performing on Monday night. So I also would just be, I'll just be DVRing Raw and then I'll watch it like a week later. And I would just fast forward through everything. I would fast forward through all promos, all intros, and I would just watch just the wrestling from bell to bell. And it would take me, I could watch a 3-hour Raw in like an hour or less. So this was very difficult watching 3 hours sitting through. I don't know how people do it. It's so much of it is so bad,
I feel like 4 years of my life have passed since we started watching Raw. So let's recap. Let's start at the beginning. You were telling me earlier you hated the Paul Heyman shit. Break it down.
It starts off with the Raw intro, and then it goes straight into, I think, a close-up of just Paul Heyman, and he's talking about Brock Lesnar, and they show a Brock Lesnar video package of him destroying all these legends like The Rock and Hogan and like Stone Cold Steve Austin and all that. And then right after that, they followed it up with Drew McIntyre's response video to that, and I hated both of them. They're both pretty poorly acted. They're not good actors. They're wrestling characters, and it was not good. I hate the way Paul Heyman says Brock Lesnar. You like that?
Yeah, I do. I actually like when he says it like that. I don't have a problem with it. I know you want to kill him, but
it makes me want to like not listen to any more words coming out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, those two videos, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are standing in a ring in the empty PC, the Performance Center, and he's reintroducing Brock Lesnar again. So he introduced Brock Lesnar in 2 back-to-back segments, basically. That was a waste of time. And I know it was only about 7 minutes, that whole thing, but it was a waste of time.
Well, also, yeah. See, I think they already aired that first opening segment with Drew and Brock. I think they aired that like 2 weeks ago, and they're just re-airing it because he talked about last week with the Claymore, and clearly he didn't do it. Actually, Drew McIntyre hasn't been on the show in 2 weeks.
So they aired
he beat up the I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
They aired that before and they air it again? Ah, that's
Mm-hmm.
terrible. God.
Yeah. Well, you can already tell they're mailing this shit in. So
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
thing with my thing is this. My thing is like, okay, so we have this travel ban, we have this stay-at-home edict, we have all this shit. Why the fuck Brock Lesnar would travel from South Dakota to Florida, stand in a ring, and just call Drew McIntyre a bitch? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, it makes sense when there's fans in the arena, and you know there's all these people. And I can suspend my disbelief that this guy traveled all this way to be like, "Hey, Drew, you're a bitch. Goodbye." You know, but like when there's nobody there, why don't you just go tell him to his fucking face? Like, hey, I think you're a bitch fucking piece of shit. They're still writing this show and treating this show. There's a crowd there, and it exposes it so bad.
Yeah, meaning like they're both standing in the ring. He's got a
Well,
microphone.
Drew's in the back,
Yeah, yeah. I know
and
what you
Brock's
mean.
insulting him. And he's not doing anything about it.
They could have done like a segment where they confront each other, but maybe
Yeah.
they're saving it. This is the second to last Raw before Mania. So there's one more Raw after this before Mania. Maybe they're saving it for that, but I'm just like this.
But it just doesn't
It
make
was
any
so
sense
unnatural.
anymore.
It didn't make sense. It was unnatural. It was stupid. It was a waste of time.
Why can't Brock just make a video at his place where he's like, "Fuck you, Drew"? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would he have to travel all that way to like stand there while Paul Heyman's singing for him? It just doesn't add up. Like there's all these things you can't ignore the fact that people are not leaving their house, and Brock Lesnar left his house just to call Drew a bitch. You know, or not? No, he didn't do it. Paul Heyman did it. So why the fuck
No,
did he even need him to be there?
he didn't even say one word, I think.
No, he
He
just
didn't
stood
say
there.
one word. He didn't, he came to just stand in an empty ring in an empty performance center. And I'm obviously, they might film more stuff later on, but if it was just today, that's all he did. He got paid money to stand. It was such a waste, man. It was bad. And I was telling you that was in the first 10 minutes of Raw. The most interesting thing I saw was this Dairy Queen commercial where there's a father who's getting like painted up by his daughter, and they showed some amazing chicken strips. They look so good. That was the most interesting thing I saw in the first 10 minutes.
You know, you should go get Dairy Queen tomorrow. You should go for a ride and grab some takeout. You know.
Yeah, I might have to get some pizza or something. But we were treated to a couple of matches tonight.
The first match was an old match from 2015, the Royal Rumble. What did you think about that?
Yeah, the 2015 Royal Rumble three-way match with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins. I thought this match was bad. It was a bad match. It was filled with hitting as many finishers as we can and kicking out of as many finishers as we can. Brock Lesnar hit about like two F5s in the beginning. John Cena hit like 3 or 4 AAs, attitude adjustments. Seth Rollins to stomp. It was just like constantly hit your finisher and constantly kick out. That's not building a good story. That's terrible storytelling. That's just hitting finishers and kicking out, getting the oohs and ahs. And then you said you liked this match, right? I
liked it at the time. So when I watched it live in 2015, I liked it. And now with all the commercial breaks, I kind of felt like it hurt the flow. But also what hurts the match is Brock Lesnar basically takes a nap for 20 minutes outside.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not in most of the match.
So there's this point where Seth Rollins hits a diving elbow from the top rope to the outside on Brock Lesnar, takes Brock Lesnar out for legit half the match, and it becomes a one-on-one with Cena versus Seth. This is the point where I actually got into the match. And they were doing pretty well, but then this is when Seth Rollins had the J&J Security, Jamie Noble, and Joey Mercury, and those 3 guys could not beat John Cena. That made him look so weak. It made him look stupid. It made him look like an idiot. Like this guy, Seth Rollins is the biggest idiot in the world.
Well, he is, but you see his stupid fucking tweets. But my thing with that match, that was all of 2015. They spent most of 2015 making Seth Rollins be a whiny idiot, and then when he beat Brock Lesnar, when he won the Money in the Bank thing, but here's my first example: the match, Brock wins. Why doesn't Seth just cash in right away and roll up Cena and restart the match? The announcers even say before the match begins that if Seth wants, he could just restart the match with that briefcase. Why wouldn't he do that? Instead,
Brock won the match, though.
Brock won the match, but Seth could restart. Seth could have cashed in. Cena's all weak and like, and then he could have just rolled up Cena and won.
No, but Brock was the champ.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
would have had to have a match with Brock. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
and
that
that was
makes
another
sense.
thing too. Like Seth worked so hard in that match, and then at the end, like he was doing a lot. Seth Rollins was doing a lot in that match. The diving elbow. He was a point where he carries John Cena across the ring diagonally to give him a buckle bomb. He carried him the whole way, and then he's doing all this work, and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar comes in and just wins the match. You're just like, what the hell is going on? It was.
After he slept, after he had a fucking nice nap on the mat.
But that's probably why he could do it, because he got to rest a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so next up is AJ Styles challenging Undertaker to a boneyard match. Andrew, what do you think a boneyard match is going to be?
This is so. I think it's gonna be like a graveyard match. That, like, let's say, like, we've seen graveyard matches before. I've seen graveyard matches in like Sting versus like Vampiro in WCW. I've seen Mankind versus Undertaker in a graveyard match, but I think this is gonna have bones involved.
I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna make it like a little graveyard set, like a movie set, and film it more movie style than an actual match. It's gonna be more of a spectacle, so we can hide the fact that Undertaker can't wrestle anymore. That's what I think it's gonna be. Yeah.
Do you think the bones involved?
Oh yeah, it's good. It's gonna be a bunch of bones. I get you. Undertaker beats AJ over the head with a bone. AJ throws him into a skeleton. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of props. I feel like the bone. It's gonna be very proppy, very wrestle crap.
Didn't you think it was really funny how like that promo that AJ did, where it was, some parts were really funny, where he called Undertaker, "You look like a gothic Tiger King," and he goes, "Look it up." And I looked it up, and it's so funny. And then right after that, they show a video of him, Undertaker, and his wife in a pool with a tiger, talking about saving the tigers. And then it was just, that part was really funny. But then he goes like, "It's gonna be a boneyard match, a challenge to a boneyard match." And as soon as it's done, Brandon Sexton's like, "What's a boneyard match?"
Yeah, nobody even knows what they're doing. Yeah.
I guess we'll have to tune in and find out what a boneyard match is.
Yeah. A boneyard match.
Yeah, it was stupid.
The next segment I did not like. It was a tag match with I think they're really just burying Ricochet at this point. I don't understand why. I don't know who he fucked or who he didn't fuck, but he's getting fucked over. What do you think about the way they're treating Ricochet?
So it was Andrade and Angel Garza versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, and because Andrade and Angel Garza will be challenging the Street Profits for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. And we talked about how I think Cedric Alexander and Ricochet they're both obviously getting buried on Raw the past few weeks. And I think it's because it's a punishment for them kind of taking Jordan Miles' side when many, many months ago, Jordan Miles had that thing with the racist WWE t-shirt thing. Mm-hmm. Because you couldn't nobody could punish those guys at the time because it was very sensitive and everybody would have known. But now nobody's talking about that anymore. So now it's like, oh, okay, well, now we're going to punish you guys. Yeah. You didn't forget what you guys did, that you guys backed them up on Twitter. So that's what I think is happening.
I know. I just feel like it's just such a waste of Ricochet. I thought this match went way too long. I knew as soon as Ricochet came out, Cedric Alexander, he was going to lose. And I just wish they kind of got to it because I just want to see Ricochet wrestling. I think Ricochet's the type of guy who could have an amazing match in an empty arena.
And this was an amazing match.
I thought it was okay. I think it was amazing.
Really? So this match was it was very long. It took there was 2 commercial breaks during this match. It was but it was not a squash match.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, both teams got a chance to shine. Both teams did tag team maneuvers. Everybody got a piece in. I thought it was well paced. The ending was spectacular, where Andrade hit that step in elbow to Cedric, and he did a replay, and he showed like a whole bunch of just spit flying out of Cedric's mouth. Yes, Ricochet lost, but he didn't eat the pinfall. Cedric did, and Ricochet. That tag team actually did look good to the point where I wanted to see them in a future tag. Like, I want that to be a tag team, Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. So I get that he lost, but it wasn't like he got buried in this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of want to see Ricochet and Cedric team more, But that match, I think it did more to get me excited for Ricochet and Cedric to fight those two guys, Angel Garza and the other guy again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm sorry, I'm like Andrade. I keep blanking out. The names are so similar. Angel Gal,
Andrade and Angel, yes.
Andrade and Angel. It made me want to see them wrestle again, then see them fight the Street Profits. The Street Profits were annoying the shit out of me.
They were, yeah. So I agree with you. Actually made me want to see a rematch between these two teams. And who's to say that's not going to happen in the future? But right
I
now,
say.
yeah. But right now they're building towards a Street Profits feud. And the Street Profits came in during the middle of the match to do commentary. And both you and I found them super annoying on commentary. They were...
It felt like everybody between Zelena, the wrestlers, the Street Profits, Brian, and the announcers, it felt like everybody was just screaming and making noise to hide the fact that nobody's actually in the building. That's what it kind of.
I feel like that's probably true, but I thought it was super unnecessary.
Yeah, it was terrible. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, Street Profits came off like they're supposed to be they're supposed to be the faces in this feud and this buildup, and they came off like heels because they're goofing around during this really like long hard match these guys are working very hard at, and it's like they're goofing around. It was terrible. And at the end they even come and they fight them, and after they fight Andrade and Angel, and then it goes to commercial break, it comes back, and now the Street Profits are in a tag team match. And Angel Garza and Andrade are out, and they're fighting Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. What did you think about it?
Was a short match.
It was short. It was. Would you consider this a squash?
Yeah.
It was a squash.
But can I be real with you? I think they need more squashes while this is going on.
Okay. I see your point, and this was like a semi-squash, meaning like it was a squash, but Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink, they both got some offense in. They made they beat on Montez Ford so he could get the hot tag and stuff. I think it was both those guys' first time on Raw.
It was.
Yeah, I think it was the first time Brendan Vink was on any WWE TV. I don't even think he's been on NXT.
I mean, I don't follow the Fink's career. Is he Howard Finkel's grandson or something? Why they call him?
No, it's Vink, like Vink.
Oh, it's Vink.
Both, yeah, they're both Australian guys. They signed up a lot of Australian guys, and yeah, it made the Profits look strong. But it was at the end of the day, it's basically like a squash match. But that's 2 matches in. That's 2 live matches in,
and we're like 90 minutes into the show now.
Yeah, it's about like close to the 2-hour mark. And
next up was Shayna Baszler. Next up was Shayna Baszler, correct?
Yeah, in an interview in a darkened, they're in the ring, and it's like they turn down all the lights, so it's just her sitting in the middle of the ring with an interviewer. And what did you think about this interview?
I liked it because I thought it was leading to Shayna Baszler beating up the interviewer. And then when Becky got her, I was genuinely shocked. I was like, did somebody just break into the ring? Was that I knew it wasn't a fan. I'm like, what is that? I didn't expect that. And then when it was Becky Lynch that hit her with a chair, I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I thought it was surprising because I did not expect Becky to come out, because when Shayna first gets hit, you don't even see it.
Yeah, I thought something had happened.
Yeah, because everything is so dark, and then turn out the lights and it's Becky Lynch, and she hit her with a couple of hard chair shots to the back. Like, they were loud. And I thought it was good to do because that Shayna interview was getting super awkward. It was getting.
Do you like Shayna Baszler?
I like her when she's doing short, dominating matches and she's not speaking. I don't want to hear her speak.
Yeah, I think she loses. She just reminds me of some drunk girl at a local bar in Jersey when she talks. Like, this is annoying, like, tough girl. You'd be like, shut up. Yeah, her promo ability is not good. Less talking, more fighting.
She's someone who could use, like, a Paul Heyman.
She should have Paul Heyman.
Yeah. And let her do just short matches where she's just tossing people around, because she's just got to build her up like a monster. That's all they got to do. She looks like a monster. She looks like she has no eyebrows.
She looks like an idiot, but that's besides the point. I know she's all right.
Yeah, I like
Then
her. She's
we
all
got
right.
no, it was Alistair Black, correct?
Aleister Black versus a jobber. This was a real squash. But let me
I
ask you a
liked
question.
it a lot.
This was the because there's nobody in the performance center. Aleister Black has got a great entrance where he gets raised up on that plank of
Hmm.
wood. Did you hear that like creaking sound, that wood creaking sound when he came up?
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever heard the creaking sound. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they made the like that. I thought it was a really cool effect. But it made his entrance even better. But he comes in, he fights a jobber named Leon Ruff, and I hate squashes, but
I like this squash.
this was a really fun squash.
Yeah.
The fact that there was nobody there and it was really quiet, like
And he was
I
just being very quiet himself, Alistair.
yeah, he made it super like something's weird. It's like all weird, and the guy is even and he sits down. Aleister Black sits down. Leon Ruff's like, "What is this guy doing?" And the ref's like, "Hey man, it's your opponent."
Yeah.
Like I liked it. And then the guy's like, "All right," and he kind of goes in and just Aleister Black just kicks him in the face. Basically, it's a squash, but it's a very fun squash because I think it was the fact that there was no people there just made it more added more to Aleister Black's like aura.
It added to his aura. It built him up. It made him look a bigger threat than they've ever made him before. I liked it. It was an effective use of the fact that no one's in the building, and I thought
Mhm.
Alistair Black was the only guy treating this like I am in an empty building fighting some kid.
Yeah.
Not like I'm at a show.
Who is he fighting at
Bobby
WrestleMania?
Lashley at Mania.
Is he really?
Yeah, they announced that. They didn't even announce it on TV. They announced it on Twitter. They did announce it on TV during the match, but they didn't make a big
Wait,
deal out of it.
wait. He's fighting Bobby Lashley at Mania
Yeah,
for what?
for nothing, for the fact so they can both get paid, I guess.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Then so
I
I
know.
don't I don't think they mentioned that at all
No,
tonight.
I know that he did mention it in passing. They didn't even. I don't even think they showed a graphic, but the announcer did mention he has Bobby Lashley at Mania. Yeah,
My
but
God.
they announced the match on Twitter, like 10 minutes into Raw. I think while the Seth Rollins match was being shown.
I mean, there's no build. There was no build to that.
Well, I
That
guess they got a week. They can do it next week. They can have the
I
two of them.
guess
I don't know.
so. Because when I was watching that, I was like, why did they have this match? I was like legit like, oh, it was a squash, but I don't know when I had it.
How about that whole big stupid fucking Rusev storyline? And everybody thought it was going to lead to a Mania match, and Rusev's doing nothing, and Bobby Lashley's fighting Aleister Black.
Yeah.
What was the whole point of that shit? Making Rusev look like an idiot for months.
Yeah, I know. Rusev
Mhm.
has nothing. What was after this match? This
Oh,
squash?
this one I think was the worst fucking segment, and I'll tell you why in a second. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens.
Yes, so Kevin Owens comes out and he's standing in the middle of the ring,
Hmm.
microphone, and he starts talking and then he starts calling out Seth, and then Seth's music hits. Seth comes out and he starts droning off about how there would be no NXT if it wasn't for him, and there would be no Kevin Owens if it wasn't for him. And then he says something about how WrestleMania I always win. You always
Hmm.
lose. It was terrible. It was
It was
terrible.
Here's why it's terrible. These guys, these are two guys that hate each other, right? They want to fight. Kevin Owens has been wanting to fight Seth Rollins for months. Seth Rollins comes out. There's nobody else around. There's no
Mhm.
security. There's no other wrestlers. There's no one. Because of this fucking virus, it's just these two retards staring at each other. And Seth Rollins is droning on and on and on. And Kevin Owens is just standing there. And it's like Kevin Owens be like, I hate you. I've been waiting months to get you alone. You're alone. I'm not waiting for WrestleMania. Shut up.
Yeah,
Why would you not run out the ring and deck Seth Rollins in the face?
he
Why
was.
would you stand in that ring?
Kevin Owens was letting him speak. He let him have the last word. It
He
was
let him
just
go on, and I get it when there's security. Again, when there's a crowd of people and there's security, and you got Buddy Murphy in the back. I get. Hey, maybe Kevin was like, you know what? He's got back up. There's a lot of things. Let me wait. But when there's nobody around, you two fucking hate each other. Why are you not fighting?
that's something that you would like never have in real life. Like
No.
I have problems with you. I'm never letting you just talk me down.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let me stand here and let you talk me down, and then not have a response. Just look down like he's right. Like
Well,
I'm
well,
never.
the other thing is, so Seth Rollins goes to the back, and they cut to commercial. You know, Kevin Owens just followed him to the back. So what did Kevin Owens do? Like, just walk the other way? Like Seth went left, Kevin Owens went right, and they went back to their fucking dressing rooms. Like, what? Why would you not be like, I'm gonna fucking fight you back here? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Their behavior is
There's
not
no one
realistic.
around.
Yeah, their behavior is not realistic, and the promos they said the words they were saying was unrealistic.
Yeah, it's
So
unrealistic.
everything
It'd
about
be well, it wouldn't even be realistic in a wrestling show with a crowd if it was a regular Raw. But it's super unrealistic and super unnatural where there's no one around. You look like two fucking idiots, and Kevin Owens looked like a real idiot, and it exposed Seth Rollins for not being a good actor. So
and it made me not want to watch this at all.
yeah,
Like there was like this doesn't make me want to watch it at all. I'm like, I don't care who wins. Like I don't even care who wins. I don't care if Kevin Owens wins. I don't care if Seth Rollins wins. It's a matchup that I'm not invested in at all. And I think this promo actually made me less interested
it made
than
it
I was
worse.
before. Yeah, it made it worse where I'm like, I really don't want to watch this.
Yeah,
So then after that, I think they had a replay of Charlotte Flair versus Asuka from WrestleMania.
34,
Yeah, which was 2008.
18,
Yeah.
18. I hate this match so much.
Yo, you know what? Here's the thing. When I was watching this match, I was talking to some of my
Reggie.
friends, like Josh Wells, another comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and we were both talking about how, like, man, we hate this match because Asuka should have won this match.
100%.
But while I'm watching this match, I actually was like, this is actually a good match. It was actually really good. It's aged very well. Charlotte keeps up with Asuka in this match.
It's a good match, but the finish ruins it. They did so much damage to Asuka in the women's division by having Charlotte beat her at that WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's because like, they want Charlotte to like get pushed as like they basically are forcing Asuka to pass the torch of like you are now the number one women's wrestler, even though her time is not done, you know? And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what everybody was against it. And when I watched this match, I felt the same way. So I hated this match because I hated the ending. But when I watch it back now, and I'm actually just watching the match, knowing the ending, I go like, actually, this match was very good. They did a lot of crazy stuff in this match. They did a Spanish fly. They did this suplex from the apron to the outside. I was like, damn, that was hard. You know, it was hard
Yeah.
hitting. Yeah. Charlotte Flair kept up with Asuka. She really did in this match, and the ending, even though they make Asuka tap real fast, just the way Charlotte's selling her injured arm by doing the figure eight with just like one arm, I thought it was good, you know.
It's a good
And
match. I think it did a lot of damage to Asuka, and like I said, they could have had a real something special with Asuka. You could have had Asuka and Becky main event in WrestleMania. I get why they did it because at the time their idea was to have Ronda Rousey and Charlotte at 35. They didn't know that Becky Lynch was going to explode the way
yes,
she did. But I still hate it. So, and you're a racist. You're not a racist, but I hate it. So.
well, this is why I don't think you should be planning for next year's WrestleMania like
Yeah.
over a year in advance. This is why you shouldn't.
If you
What
if
they
you if you had told Triple H and Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 34 that Becky Lynch was going to main event the next year, they would have both looked at you like you were a fucking idiot. And
yeah,
like,
of course.
there's no way in hell why her? She the Celtic dancing idiot. They never would have saw her become the man. You know?
It's like what's steampunk?
Yeah.
She's wearing a steampunk.
He's not even that hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, like, would have been great if on WrestleMania 18, Asuka wins and Charlotte goes like, she needs to get that win back.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, they could have wrestled at a SummerSlam, like a rematch at SummerSlam where Charlotte's like, I have to beat you. Kind of like what they did with Asuka and Becky.
Becky, yeah, that was good.
That would have been great if they did it with Charlotte, but I guess if they did it with Charlotte, I don't know if you could have done that with Becky and Asuka because then it's like you're telling that story twice. So in a way, Becky kind of benefits from that. But Yeah, it was at the time it was really annoying, but when I watched it now, I was like, I get the ending kind of was forced, but overall the match is good. I don't want to take away from a good match. I thought it was actually pretty good.
And
But
then and then they interviewed Charlotte, and you actually liked this interview.
yes, it was right. So right after they showed that match, they have a backstage interview where we're talking to Charlotte. Goes, Charlotte, we just saw you beat Asuka, and then tell us about that. And she does a short, quick interview, and basically ties that match into her match, and she does like a little quick woo at the end. This was great. I thought this is how all the promos should have been done, because there's no audience. You don't need the entrance music making them walk to the ring and have a microphone. Just get it interviewed. And I thought this, like, did you like this interview? It was quick, wasn't it?
I liked it. I thought she looked good too. Not to be a pervert, but it is what it is. I liked it, and I thought it served its purpose. Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm. They should have done all their interviews like this. That's what they should have done. There was no point of them doing it in the fucking ring, you know?
Yeah. Here's the thing. The closing segment is Randy Orton, and I loved it. I thought it was fucking phenomenal. What did you think?
You're joking. You're
Well, you
lying.
didn't like it?
No, I did not like it.
Why didn't you like it?
Because I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
I liked how he this felt to me like they knew they were an empty arena, because I like how he tied in all his history and they showed clips to back up Randy Orton's arguments. I like that. And I liked his intensity. I liked how he delivered it. This to me felt like somebody talking to someone, he knows Edge is home watching it, and he's talking directly. He's not pretending there's fans around. He's not pretending that, like this is a regular wrestling show. He's cutting a very concise promo to Edge, and he's using clips and history to back up his arguments. I like that, because they never use clips or history to back up their arguments.
Yeah, I like, first off, it's not like I don't like Randy. I like Randy Orton a lot. I think he's always underrated when they talk about some of the great wrestlers they have on the roster. But it just was like, it was such a lackluster way to end a Raw.
Really?
You know? This is how they ended the Raw. And I was like, this is how you're ending a Raw? Like, just a promo from Randy Orton, no retort back to it. It's just, he's the one who gets the final say. There's no response back. I get it's a response to what Edge, but yeah, like, he's there.
Okay.
Like, we know he's.
I'm assuming there. Edge isn't
like,
there. I was assuming that. Yeah. But we know he's there. You're right. They're all there.
It was a lackluster ending. The point he was making, I still don't get it. It's like, you think I was handed everything, but I wasn't. And I'm like, am I really gonna hit someone with a fucking chair because I think they got handed everything? While, like, it was like, I'm saving you from you because I love you. I was like, it made no sense to me.
That I love you stuff is like stupid. I would have rather he say
that was the whole promo. He was like, I love you, and that's why I did this, because I'm saving you. I'm like, what are they talking about?
I think he's trying to say he's saving him from getting re-injured in the ring. So he took him out so he could go back home. He doesn't want him to get re-injured in the ring.
That makes no sense to me.
So he doesn't want Edge to wrestle again, so he had to beat him up. So Edge wouldn't wrestle again.
Wait, say that again.
He doesn't want Edge to ever wrestle again, so he had to beat the shit out of him, so Edge would be too injured to ever wrestle again. Because he doesn't want Edge to get injured, so I have to injure you, which makes no sense.
Yeah, but basically, I wanted you to say it again because I wanted you to hear how stupid that sounds.
I know. How about you just become Edge's partner and you guys become a tag team, and then you just protect him like that?
How about this? You hit Edge and you say, I hit you with the chair because you married the woman I wanted to marry. How about that?
You talking about Beth Phoenix?
I secretly always wanted to date Beth Phoenix.
He's got a pretty hot wife. I don't know if I would pick Randy Orton's wife over Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, but I don't know. You could make a fabricated story about how we.
How about I just don't fucking like you. I think you've been overrated and you're not that fucking great.
Dude, this storyline is one of those like storylines where they're just like overthink it and created this huge elaborate thing where like it doesn't make any sense at all. It's like what Edge talked about on I think last week it didn't match up with what Randy Orton's talking about. It's just like, what the fuck are they talking about? It's so fucking stupid.
I think it would have been better if they had Edge wrestle Seth Rollins, because I don't know if you remember back in late 2014, but Seth Rollins has Edge's neck in a thing and says to John Cena, "If you don't reinstate Triple H, I'm going to break Edge's neck." And Edge is helpless.
Yeah.
And Cena goes, "Okay, Triple H is reinstated." I think it should have been Edge saw Seth Rollins becoming the Monday Night Messiah, gaining all this power, and being like, this guy made me feel helpless. And ever since that day, I've been training to come back to get revenge on Seth Rollins. That would have been a better storyline, because they really made Edge look like a little bitch that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like Cena had to, like, all the stuff that Cena was working for months, Cena had to give up to protect Edge. And I feel like it would have been a better story that Edge, for the last 5 years, has been training to destroy Seth Rollins.
I think it would have been better if Randy Orton came out and said, "I'm gonna face you, Edge, in the boneyard match."
Boneyard. Maybe they'll fight each other in a Lita's vagina match. I don't know.
Dude, that promo was stupid. It was. Stupid.
I liked it. I thought it was the best thing on the show.
I thought the best thing on the show was the tag team match, Cedric Alexander and Ricochet versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Even though there was some weird stuff that happened, like the ending, the referee fucking up the ending and stuff, and the weird tag rope thing, but that was a good match, dude. I don't know how you don't like that match.
I didn't like it that much.
So there was 5 matches.
Yeah.
3 live ones, one of them being a squash, and 2 replays. On a regular weekly wrestling show, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But on Raw standards, that's not so bad, because
also with the virus, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's like, if you want to compare it to like AEW, it's a terrible show. But if you're just watching it going, I want to just go based on Raws, it's not the worst Raw.
You know? It was pretty bad. It was better last week. I'll tell you why. Because the Royal Rumble match was an hour long.
Yeah.
And I went to my friend's house thinking we were going to see like 3 hours of weirdo shit. And then they just killed an hour with that match. And it felt like, really? You're just going to show this whole fucking Royal Rumble? At least they broke up the classic matches where there was one in the first hour and one in the third hour. It wasn't like...
Last week, they had only one live match. It was like Rey Mysterio's versus... It was like a 4-minute match. And this week was definitely better than last week. But it's still... Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty bad because they're still pretending like there's people in the crowd.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you compare it to regular wrestling weekly show standards, it's a terrible show. Yeah. Because number one, you're right. They treated everybody else seems to have adjusted. They did not. They're acting like we're still gonna pretend there's people here.
Yeah.
They are phoning in some stuff. You know, like as far as storylines go or stuff like that, they're just phoning things in.
They're insulting the audience's intelligence. Whatever. I'm having trouble with words. Yeah. They're insulting us way more than they usually are, especially with the Kevin Owens Seth Rollins segment.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you think that was the worst segment?
Yes. They should have showed a Kevin Owens match to that segment. They should have just showed Kevin Owens versus Cesaro or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they should have done like something like that. That segment, I'm trying to think which one was worse.
I just don't understand why Seth Rollins can't cut that promo from his iPhone or from his laptop in his apartment and be like, "This is what I'm gonna do." I don't know why he has to be there. I think next week, because they're taping everything in advance, they're taping like the next 3 weeks in advance over the next few days. They should have one match at the Performance Center, but all these promos that these wrestlers are doing, and they can use the excuse that we have a stay-at-home protocol, should be from their homes on their iPhones. I don't think they should be near each other.
Maybe it would have been better if Seth Rollins at the end was like, "And I challenge you to a boneyard match."
Yeah. No, I think it would have been better if Seth Rollins was on his phone like they did with Paige on SmackDown. Seth Rollins is on his phone at his house and like, "I'm not going to be there, but this is what I want to tell you." Because it would make more sense for Kevin Owens to sit there and watch the phone message than to watch this fucking guy standing like, yeah.
That is true. And even if he's there, they could have still done that.
Yeah, but they didn't.
And lie and say he's not there and just do the phone thing. Yeah, because then you can't respond because it's a phone message, you know. But Yeah, that was very stupid. Yeah, I
All
would
right.
say that was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that's our Raw review. I'm gonna be doing a Gootzcast 5 nights a week. Some nights I'll be reviewing wrestling with Andrew. Other nights I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'll be doing something. So that's interesting, right?
AEW Dark tomorrow night, 6 matches.
Yeah, they're all
I'm
yeah.
watching that.
You watch it. I'll be watching. Actually, I gotta do Chemical Teas podcast tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So yeah, every night we're gonna the Gootzcast is a podcast feed. It's also on my YouTube channel, Ray Gootz Comedy. You're gonna be watching the video on there, audio on the Gootzcast feed. Andrew Lee, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Thanks, racist.